stand by it. I would not stand by total restaurant food, but the real food of India, which is Indian home cooking. And I know I slap my face every time I say that. And a lot of restaurant and chefs are against me of telling this again and again, that the best Indian food is not cooked by Indian chefs. We could have all the awards in the world, all the Michelin stars, everything, but we are not the best cooks of Indian food. It's still cooked in Indian homes. And I don't want that ever in my life to be changing. And people say, aren't you ashamed of it? And I say that, I said, yeah, but I'm very proud of it, that our mothers still care to cook. Our mothers still care to understand that culture is nothing but a continuation. As long as they will keep repeating this whole culture, they will have the power which we call it. And I think that is what was dedicated in the book was, I'll read one thing from the book and then we'll get back to cooking. Which is quite boring, trust me. There's a line in this, because I write my books myself, but I write in all the bad English. So many times they have wrong English, which they say, don't correct it, because this is the way I think. So it says that, I still remember the soft spongy dhoklas I ate in Surat. The fragrance of the tadkas of chilies and mustard seeds still linger in my mind from south of Pondicherry. I still remember the smell of sarson ka saag simmering, slowly cooking on a wooden flame in Punjab. I still remember when I am going up and flying back to the new world, I somehow look down and feel I left my heart somewhere down in those streets. It's like, for me, the food, Indian food, is nothing more than a poetry. I do not know that how you can define Indian food. I don't know how you can. It's very easy. This thing is, I would say, not use the word. My publisher is also here, Ajay Mato from Home Books. He's a man who's publishing a lot of our work, and I wouldn't say recipe writing is. I would say dumb. It is dumb. I will give you an example. I come back to India after 7 years, and I'm very impressed by how. So I said, let me go and write something. I had not written anything in my life, and I didn't know that I will have a whole rack of books. So I'm going to this my BG, my grandmother, and I'm going to the kitchen and I said, BG, what are you? Aloo methi banana lagi hai. I'm going to make. Do you guys understand Punjabi? Should I? I have people in my restaurant, they call me, I'm a Toy Story. If you've seen Toy Story 3, he has a mode in which he turns to Spanish. So I have that problem with Punjabi. So I said, Biji ki bana rahe? Methi aloo. I said, okay. So I said, okay, I'm going to document it. Suddenly, I thought, this is something very precious because how long is she going to be with me? Let me have something which will stay forever. So she's putting sarson ka tel. So I said, don't put. How much? So she's saying, what's wrong with you? I said, okay. So she's putting, and I'm having a friend of mine who's taping it in a video camera. So she's saying, I don't know. I said, okay. And then she puts little hing and she puts little tadka, jeera and everything. I said, don't put, let me measure. And she slaps my hand and says, you never measure food. They had a belief, and I said, how am I supposed to write a cookbook when nobody measures anything in this country? It is totally true. They think, our elders think, that it is dumb to measure food. Why would you measure food? Why has God not given you the senses to measure everything? And why would you have this stupid thing of, I'm showing her that you put 1 spoon of this, and she's saying, don't talk to me about this. This is so stupid, but it is so true. They had a sixth sense of food. And how come we use these recipes? I measure so much. All the time I'm having measuring cups and spoons in my hand. My food doesn't come out same every time I cook. I don't know why. I measure everything perfectly and then I get upset. How come it doesn't? And her food without measurement in any volume is the same. I can, in my sleep also, deep sleep, I can smell that it is always the same smell of food every time they would cook. So recipe writing is fairly new for me. I'm being a little bit encouraging for anybody who wants to write books. It is very, very, it's very easy to write anything. It's very difficult to recreate the soul of food. I'm very proud. Saloni is going to college. She's going to join hotel management. And they keep, Areva, congratulations. That's the future. Well, I'm very proud of one thing that you see now, a new generation is so interested in food. I just think this is something to be very proud of. I'm very proud, but then I feel that they think that Indian food is not superior. Am I right? Be honest. Yeah. They somehow feel that learning French cuisine or learning Italian or American, it's very high class. Right? I'm fairly honest, not very honest, but I'm fairly honest. When it came to my life and I had to choose, and I did not make a wrong choice by any standard, and a lot of people in the world will stand by it. And I made a fairly right choice that I was born to cook Indian food. But there is so much Indian food. There are 1 billion cuisines within the country. For me, this was most interesting. I'm talking about not Vikas Khanna standing in front of you. I'm talking about what my grandmother called me Viku. 25 years ago when I chose to be in this industry. I realized that yes, in colleges when you go, they will teach you so much about Western cuisine. So much to the point that we would never have subjects about Indian cooking. And when you stand up and ask this, that what is the purpose of this vegetable? You know why? What happens is that if we stop telling our stories about our own cuisine, someone else would. If you have a Western person coming to India, what would they write about Kumbh Mela? They will just write one thing: it's dirty, it's disorganized, it's unhygienic, it is not sanitized. This is what we read in US. So now with a lot of pride and a lot of blessings, I have a place there in which when I write, it stands in similar balance to what they write. So for me, Kumbh Mela is the greatest definition of human life. The greatest city will be made, and after the event, it will be destroyed. This all comes from Rig Veda, that everything which has to live has to die and be born again. Even our body cells. So imagine a small cell represents a big city, huge city, like a mother country which gives birth to infinite colors and people, all in one symmetry. And I'm telling you, it is very, very clean. I know a lot of Western media, especially I'll get the first email from New York Times when I blog about this tomorrow, that, oh, it was very unhygienic. And I said, yeah, can anything be created like this? And everybody comes to surrender to the first daughter of mother, Ganges. Now, if we will stop writing our story, now what I'm saying is about the country and a small event, but we have to create the same thing about food.